Hello everyone, Fire Angel here. It has officially been 1 week since Chapter 5 Broken Things came out, and yeah, that was a whole experience, really. Hello, buddy. Oh, I love you, baby boy. If you come to say hi, here you go, on your way. But yeah, Chapter 5 was a whole goddamn experience. It was everything and yet not everything I expected. And I'll give my analysis of it. But I also will go over some merch. I think if you can see behind me, I have a Five Below bag here. Because in the week since, I've bought more stuff. Probably shouldn't, but you know what? I say go for it. What in tarnation are you doing? One of my other cats is being weird. I don't know. Yeah, go in your box. Have fun. Okay. So, analysis and merch. I'll start off with the merch, and I'll start that right off with a piece of merch I forgot I had last week. I bought this a while ago. It's a simple bookmark. It's got Huggy, Mommy, and Boxy on it. I forgot I bought this. I bought several months ago, but I forgot I had it, and then, sometime after I, like, went over the rest of the merch I had, I was like looking through some stuff and I ended up finding this. I was like, oh, I forgot I had you. So, yeah, I have a bookmark. Um, haven't used it yet. Probably should. I don't know. Maybe. Whenever they drop the Poppy Playtime book, I guess I'll put it in that when I'm reading it. Though, knowing me, I will read it in one whole afternoon. Okay, so that was merch I already have. Here's some merch I recently got. Over the weekend, I was hanging out with my best friend, and we had a shopping spree over at a mall that's. I'm not good with directions. A little bit of ways away from here because the local mall we have closed a while ago, so now we have to go further out for a mall. And honestly, the nearest malls are also dying, so sucks. But yeah, we went on a shopping spree, and I think we got away with some good stuff. Like I got a cool looking hoodie from Hot Topic. It's not Poppy Playtime related, but it was pretty nice. I liked it. And we also bought snacks, and I also went to Red Robin for the first time ever. It was very good. I like the burgers. But while we were there, did some shopping. All of this came from Five Below and Target. Um, let's see if I remember what came from where. All right. The first few things I'm pulling out came from Target, and we're starting off with a little doughy squishmallow. Yes, I already have one, but this one's tiny and huggable, really. But honestly, they're all huggable. But like, it's a tiny doughy. Do you really want me to say no to this? And he was the last one in the box, so I had to save him. But yeah, I got tiny squishmallow doughy. I'm very satisfied. Very satisfied. Here we go. Sit up there. Don't fall over. Alright. And the next two, I believe, also came from Walmart. No, not Walmart. Target. It came from Target. Got little, I don't know what you want to call it. Bag clip? No, not bag clips. Backpack decorations? I don't know. But they're supposed to hang off as stuff. And I got Baba and Maggie. And actually, what happened was like we were in Target, found these while we were trying to look for the next thing that I'll show you. And we found these, and we were like, you know what? We both like nightmare creators. Let's just take the whole goddamn box, and we did. We grabbed 7 in total. She grabbed 4. I grabbed 3 because like I already like have had a bunch of other Poppy Playtime merch, but I also ended up getting some Uno cards, so that was like my number of items, and she got four. But like we kind of agreed if there's any duplicates, we'd each get one. And we went back to her place, opened all of our goodies. Let's see if I remember. Her four, she had gotten a Baba, an Icky, a Tui. Who else did get? She got somebody else. I don't remember. Like her four bags was Baba Chops, uh, Icky Licky, Tui. I think she got another Baba. Yeah, she did get another Baba. That's why I have this Baba. So like this one, I did not open. The three I opened happened to be Maggie, Simon, and Raby. My friend really likes Simon and Raby, so I gave them to her in exchange for the Baba. And technically, there didn't need to be an exchange, but like she likes those two. Plus, I still have Maggie. Maggie's like one of my favorite nightmare critters. She's like in second place. First place is a three-way tie between Simon, Alistair, and Poe. Don't ask me how, like, when they first were introduced, I immediately was like, yeah, Poe's definitely my favorite. Alistair slowly grew on into me as chapter 4 came closer. But then chapter 4 released and we got the little Simon plush in the canister. And then I proceeded to write that character in our Angel Salvation. I was like, yeah, Simon's getting up there in first place with Alistair and Poe. So yeah, three-way tie amongst the nightmare critters. It's so much easier to list my favorite smiling critters because it's Catnap, Dog Day, Hoppy, Bobby, Kickin', Bubba, Crafty, and Picky. In that order, from most favorite to least favorite. Sorry, Picky. Just not the biggest fan. It's harder to list the nightmare critters, especially when you have a three-way tie for first place. But I have Baba and Maggie, and I will be keeping my eyes open for the rest of the crew. Though guarantee I will probably grab duplicates, because that always happens. Alright, now the next batch, I got these from Five Below, hence why I have the Five Below bag here. And I mentioned these uh, during the last video when I was going over my smiling critter figurines. I believe I mentioned like yeah, they made nightmare critter ones and I hadn't seen them yet. Well, here's the funny thing. During our shopping spree, we found them. And we went to two different Five Belows. The first one, I grabbed all five remaining bags. And the next Five Below we went to, there was only two bags left, so I took them. Opened them up, and this is funny. When I took them out of the bag, I saw that there were seven in total, five from the first one, two from the other one. But then I was opening them, and I was like, wait, hold on, I'm missing one. Because apparently at this point, like, we had moved a blanket off of my friend's bed so we could like open our stuff, and the seventh bag was kind of tangled up in the blanket, so it was just sitting on the floor. And when we were all done and stuff, my friend was putting her blanket back on the bed, and she's like, "Oh, I found your seventh bag." But yeah, uh, and there were seven in total. I kept five of them because I got duplicates of two of them at least. I remember the one duplicate. I don't remember what the other one was. But we got Tui. He was in the seventh bag that was missing for a good 5 minutes. But we got Tui. We've got Raby Baby, and I had a duplicate of Raby, so I gave her to my friend. We've got Maggie. I think Maggie was the other duplicate that I gave to my friend. I don't remember. I know for a fact if I had gotten Simon, I would have immediately handed him over, like, here you go. I did not get Simon. I'm still gonna be hunting these guys down for a while. Who knows how long. But Maggie. We've got Poe. Very satisfied. Very satisfied. They're so cool, really. And the last one I have is Alistair. So I got two out of my main three. That's bonus. Plus I got like I have like over half of them, pretty much. All I have to do is do some more hunting, and I'll have the rest of the crew. And that was all the merch I have. I will be going back to Five Below and Target and maybe Walmart to find more. And if not, I'll just hit the Poppy Playtime store because I know they have a bunch more merch over there. They even have that new store with all the Chapter 5 merch. I will be buying a prototype shirt for sure. Alright, there we go. Let me put all of them back in the bag. And now we can do an analysis of Chapter 5. And I don't know where to begin. I'll just start off with I really liked Chapter 5. Obviously, I didn't play it. I don't have the proper setup for a game like that, or nor do I have the heart for it, because I guarantee if I played any of these games, I would have a heart attack and die. I could also see myself getting angry if I got stuck on a specific part for way too long. You guys better be behaving. I don't know. But yeah, he's very good. I liked the story behind it. I could, like, there are some things that I was a little iffy about, and I'll go over them. But overall, my opinion is I like Chapter 5. It's not my favorite chapter. If anything, I'm going to say Chapter 4 is my favorite. Like, in terms of, like, gameplay, Chapter 3 is definitely the winner. Like, I've seen a lot of people say Chapter 3 is the best chapter. I agree on that. Because, like, game-wise, lore-wise, scare-wise, very good. I just like Chapter 4 because the story and the emotional value behind it. But Chapter 5 I will rate as third place amongst the list of favorite Poppy Playtime chapters. And that list will end up getting updated again because I guarantee, now that it's been a week, everyone now knows there's probably a chapter 6. And there has to be, because it looks like they're extending it. More on that later. But I'm just going to go down through what I thought. And if I can remember any of my old predictions. The one I definitely remember, with Huggy meeting up with Kissy and reuniting, I think we all got that on the nose for a fact. Like, Huggy saw Kissy for the first time in who knows how long, and he calms down. Like, a lot of people noted in that scene, he was slowly starting to smile again. Like, he was shutting his mouth, his smile was coming back. We all got that correct. Congratulations, everyone. We did good on that. And, like, that was personally probably my favorite part of Chapter 5, just seeing Huggy and Kissy together again. As for some of the new stuff, we like new characters, new tools. Globy was very cool. Like, so I was like watching Chapter 5 with my best friend, and we watched Think Noodles playthrough. And like every once in a while I was just like Globy's just completely chill, like the whole sunglasses and everything. I was like, Globy's just here for the vibes. Like he is very he is a very fun character, if he even is considered a character. Like, he obviously doesn't talk, but I think he kind of does, because I remember at some point Giblet was like, I think, talking to Globy. I don't know, but Globy was very cool. Very nice touch to the game. And while I'm just mentioning Giblet, I am so happy my prediction was wrong on him. For now. I don't know if he has anything planned, but for the most part, I think we can trust Giblet. And I'm so happy that, one, he didn't betray us, and two, he's actually good, and three, he actually lived for now. I have a horrible feeling he's gonna die in the next chapter. Please, for the love of God, show mercy, Mob. But Giblet is. Oh dear lord. Uh, that was just the sound of my cats having zoomies down the hall. I think they're coming back. Nope, they're not. Okay. But Giblet's a very cool character, and I've already had some people on Wattpad ask me how he and Gabriel would get along. Quite honestly, with how Giblet was characterized, like he's saying like I'm not a hero. Personally, in my mind, Gabriel was probably going through that same concept in chapter 5. Because, like, this is just coming off of Safe Haven blowing up, Poppy leaving us, Kissy losing her arm and potentially disappearing forever. Like, everything's gone downhill. Gabriel would be in the same mindset. So I think, like, the two of them would get along pretty well and kind of, like, boost each other up a little bit. Uh, so Giblet, very nice. I like Giblet. But I think my favorite character from chapter 5, if I can't say Huggy or the prototype, would have to be Chum. Oh my god, he's adorable and not what. I don't think he was what any of us were expecting, because when we first got a glimpse of his arms, like we got a snippet of Huggy and Kissy hugging this character with red furry arms and yellow hands that looks similar to them. We all thought that was going to be like a character similar to Huggy and Kissy. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the heck Chum is supposed to be other than looking like a Sesame Street character. Then again, almost everyone looks like they could be from Sesame Street. That's a good concept. I know I saw people doing that on Twitter. But Chum is a very interesting character. And I like how, while this is kind of disturbing, I like how you can put a person inside him. Uh, I'm gonna guess if he was a toy, he's probably like a toy that had like a heartbeat inside of him or something. Because I know there's some toys out there like teddy bears where doctors will put like a recording of a heartbeat in it and give it to babies or even baby animals to like help calm them down and whatnot. I think Chum kind of has a similar purpose. Now, would I be going inside of him? No. No, I would not. I'd freak out. And then I end up throwing up. Uh, but he's so nice. And I think, like, I can't wait to see him in chapter 6. Hopefully alive, god dang it. Um, but yeah, like I think he's obviously serving the prototype, but he's doing so as an inside man. Um, and I think the prototype is kind of blackmailing him into helping him, and that's why Chum is helping the allies. Because when the prototype showed up and we were inside Chum's mouth, the prototype said something along the lines of, I know how much you care about this, or something like that. Now I'm gonna guess that he was holding something up that Chum could see, but we couldn't. He's blackmailing Chum with something or someone, and that's why Chum is uh, the errand boy for the prototype. And that's why he's helping him. He doesn't want to, but he has to, or else something bad is going to happen. It's also pretty interesting that the prototype brought up hunters. In Our Angel Salvation, I called them lieutenants. So I guess I was kind of going somewhere with that. I don't know. But hunters is pretty cool. More cool than calling them lieutenants, not gonna lie. Let's see. We talked Globy, Giblet, Chum, Poppy. You have my sincerest apologies. you're still bad, in my opinion, because there's no need to blow up the whole factory. There are other ways to do this, or we could have, just straight up leave. But you have my sincerest apologies. I didn't realize how bad things were. Like, I still don't like Poppy. Like, I'm sorry. I don't necessarily hate her, other than ditching us at the end of chapter 4. That was thanks. But I don't hate her. I don't like her. And I'm having a hard time trusting her after everything. If horror movies have taught me anything, it's don't trust the living doll. Especially when they have red hair, because I swear to God, almost every horror movie with a doll has a doll with a red hair. Annabelle, Chucky. Do I need to list more? I can't list anymore, I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, Poppy, you have my apologies. Just show me that we can trust you again, and don't pull off something like, let's burn the whole factory down. Seriously, we're not trying to die, we're trying to get out of here and live. Um, I'm happy to see Kissy was okay, because I thought for sure we were not going to see her until the very end. She at least seems to be okay, minus missing an arm. Um, Someone's got to do one of those, like, the little meme, uh, that was just snow falling off the roof. Yes, I'm living in a state that got snow. I woke up to seeing snow on the ground. I was like, no, God, please, no. Um, but someone's got to do like one of those audio things with Kissy and Poppy. Like, Kissy's like, "How bad is it?" And Poppy's like, "Oh, I'd say something, something, arm ripped off." Like that. That's from the Lego Ninjago movie, correct? I gotta see someone do that. But happy to see Kissy was okay until the very end. Please tell me Huggy and Kissy are alive. Jesus Christ, oh, God. Oh, no, that was so, like I said earlier, that was my favorite scene. It was my favorite, like, it is still my favorite scene, all the way up to where they almost touched hands, and then the prototype just freaking ruined it. Came out of freaking nowhere, too. Like, dude's got freaking nat 20s on all his goddamn stealth rolls, I swear. Um, let's see. There's also Lily. Lily was, I'm not gonna lie, watching Think Noodles playthrough. You're kind of just watching it, like, uh, going along with it. If we got to the Sweet Street point, or like, we finally got, I think it was like the room before we went into Sweet Street, and we saw Lily's hair tied around a door, keeping it shut. When we saw that, I was like, oh, I forgot Lily was in this. Serious, like, you would go through that entire first half of the game and completely forget she was ever supposed to be in there. I forgot entirely about Lily. And we saw the hair, and it's like, oh, she's in this. Uh, she was very interesting. Um, and also, like, her backstory is horrifying. Like, I thought Dowie had a tragic backstory, Catnap had a tragic backstory, and Mommy as well. I think Lily took the cake with it, considering like she was one of the adults. Granted, she had what was coming to her, but I didn't expect they would take her and experiment on her and make her a living toy. Like that's just psychological torment at this point. She deserved it, but it was horrifying. But Lily was a very cool character. Is very nice to finally see her in the game too. Um, she was very crazy. Like she reminded me a lot like Mommy Longlegs when we got the Welcome Home cinematic trailer. Um, and it, when watching this game, it was like seeing Mommy again. Really. Also, it's very nice to see a baby Longlegs toy. There was no need for Lily to say, "I'm so sorry for your loss." Like, don't rub salt into the wound, please. We know we killed mommy. We didn't mean to. Like we didn't mean to grind her up. I guess I don't know. Um, but yeah, Lily was pretty cool. I seen a lot of fan art on TikTok and Twitter of Lily and Catnap feuding over the prototype's love, and the prototype's just sick of the both of them. I love seeing those. They're just so funny. And speaking of the prototype, I have no words really. Design very cool. Was I close? Not really. No. Uh, I thought for sure he was going to have a skull, like a human skull. It like just overall, I thought he was going to look like the shrine that catnap built. Apologies, everyone, if that video cut it off. It's because I apparently ran out of storage on my goddamn phone. It's ridiculous. But anyways, yeah, I thought the prototype was going to look like Catnap's shrine, and there's actually more on this apparently. But overall, prototype was very cool. The reveal was satisfying, and he is very evil. Holy crap! Yeah, here I thought Poppy was the bad one. But yeah, prototype straight up evil. There is not a redeeming quality about that one. Um, and the I don't know, like seriously, seeing him blew my mind away. Really, I got something stuck in my glasses. Hang on. It was very cool seeing him, and like anyone who designed him with a jester outfit on, congrats, you got it. Um, and he also had the body parts of Huggy, Kissy, Mommy. He had catnap skin. Like, oh my, it's obviously more noticeable to see Mommy and the Wuggies, but I like my friend and I are watching some TikToks later on, and we're like, oh hold up, he's got catnap's fur. And I got the one eye correct. I've believed from God knows how long, but from the very beginning, since I've gotten into the Poppy Playtime fandom, I've always believed he had one eyeball. Granted, I thought it was going to be red, and I put in the left eye socket. Uh, but yeah, got that. Um, it honestly, like going into this, I did not expect him to look like a jester. Here's your fun fact: back when Amber released the Halloween art, where like they're all in the pumpkin patch, one of the pumpkins has his face on it. We just looked at that and we're like, "Oh, that's nothing." Apparently, it was something. It was something very big, actually. Um, but yeah, like I mostly thought he's gonna look like the shrine. Am I disappointed in his design? No, what I am sort of disappointed about it's so like a little like over the weekend, Isaac, the original director of Poppy Playtime, he directed 1, 2, and 3, and then he left in between 3 and 4 due to creative differences. I think it was. Um, he did this last year when Chapter 4 came out. He had like a Q&A session, and he mentioned that while Pianosaurus and the Nightmare Critters were never a thing when he left Mob, uh, the company at least stuck to his ideas, not to a T, but they stuck to them. Over the weekend, he did another Q&A on Twitter in which he went on to say that Chapter 5 was not like what he had planned. There were some things that he had put down in idea form that did make it through. He was the one that he said that from day one when he made this, he always knew Huggy was going to be alive, and that's why Huggy came back in Chapter 5. He had that planned from the very beginning. Um, And he even mentioned that Huggy was going to get a redemption arc. Well, that redemption arc probably did involve him getting stabbed, but yeah, based on what he said, chapter 5 is not like what he had planned, and in fact, chapter 5 was supposed to be the final chapter, which I had even predicted. There's nowhere else to go, or so we think. Because I've given this some thought, and I've seen some TikToks where they're building theories, and someone pointed out that the prototype had said better place in capital words, like that, like the B in better and the P in places are capitalized, like it's an actual location. So maybe chapter 6 is supposed to go to this better place. And no, it's not heaven. Uh, so maybe that's where we're going in chapter 6, but overall, I thought chapter 5 was going to be it. There's nowhere else to go unless you want to go down to the center of the freaking earth. Like, I don't know, like, watching chapter 5, it was great. Then you get this Q&A and you're like, oh god dang it. And like, here's your fun little fact. The prototype actually was supposed to be based on the shrine, so I got that right. Just, they ended up making him a whole jester. Because Isaac mentioned, like, maybe he was supposed to wear a jester hat, but overall he's supposed to be, like, all these scraps and pieces of machine and organic parts, like how the shrine was. So if you bullied Catnap for not having any idea of what he was building, go apologize to him right now. He's crying in the corner. But yeah, he was supposed to look like the shrine. And, like, I still like the jester form, but I also would have liked to seen the shrine form a little bit. And for those of you wondering, because like obviously I wrote like my own version of chapter 5 on Wattpad last summer. If you're wondering if I'm going to keep the design I thought of, or if I'm going to go with the game canon design of the prototype, the answer is yes. I'll let you sit on that for a little bit and try and figure out what that means. But I like my design, so he's staying, but I also like the jester design. So we'll see what happens. No spoilers, sorry. Another thing, he had mentioned that when he had left, there had been concept art for Lily, where she was supposed to be kind of like walking around like Doc Ock. And honestly, that would be very cool. I'm going to keep that in mind when I write her in a future story. But there was no Giblet, there was no Chum, there was no Outimals. And, like, I haven't mentioned the Outimals at all, and I'm going to be honest, I don't really care for them. Like, it's basically someone else actually summed this up much better than I could. But someone dubbed the Outimals as another critter hashtag or something like that. And honestly, yes, they were. Like, the nightmare critters were made, I dare say, probably to make a buck. And I hate saying that because I actually like the nightmare critters. They're very cool. The Outimals, I could care less about. Like, we know nothing about. I don't even remember all their names. I remember Blanky Blanks, and that's it. Oh. Aha! I got the psycho. Hello, princess. What are you doing? What are you doing? Have you come to stir trouble? I'm harassing her. Don't worry, she's fine. Yeah, say hi. Say bye. Don't cause trouble. Don't kill anybody. But yeah, Blanky Blanks is the only one I remember. Everyone else, I don't know any of the others' names. And while it's a cool concept for a toy, yes, it's like those octopus that you flip inside out. I have a FNAF plushie of Foxy with that. He flips between the OG Foxy and the Nightmare Foxy. I like that. But we did nothing with them. Like, the only bit of lore we get is they were supposed to be a toy, but they failed in marketing. Like, they're a rejected toy. And then after the Hour of Joy, the prototype ends up making them. I think, because I also saw somewhere like the little the little toy gremlins that are wandering around Chapter Five's labs. Those aren't the Outimals, sorta. Like, we've seen what the Almos look like. They look a little different. They look like little. The one looks like a little burlap sack doll. That looks nothing like what we saw in Chapter 5 of the little gremlins wandering around with like stakes in their eyes or something. Like, I don't think those are the same things. Sorta, I don't know. They are still Outimals, but they're not the Outimals that were supposed to be the toys. It just, overall, I'm not a fan of the Outimals. I They served no purpose other than to show like, oh yeah, the prototype's experimenting on the children yet and flip them inside out, which honestly horrifying. Oh, don't worry, buddy. You're okay. I love you. I love you so much. Oh. Hey, go up this. Go bother Sorsha. Yeah, just overall not a fan of the Outermost. And if anyone asks, when I get around to writing a version of Chapter 5 that's canon to the games, I'm not saving them. I'm sorry if you like them. I don't care about the Outermost. I'm sorry. They serve no purpose to me other than they can be eaten by somebody. I don't know. But I'm not saving them. That's just my thoughts on them. Uh, but yeah, the Animals, Chum, Giblet, they were never part of Chapter 5. Lily was an early concept. The prototype was supposed to be built based on the shrine and not full on Jester. And plus, Chapter 5 was supposed to end the entire series. Like, I know, like, it wouldn't hurt to have spin off games, but there's no need to keep extending the games further out. Like, I dare say Chapter 6 better be the last one, or Mob's gonna lose a lot of people. Um, I will say this, at least they did not have any glitches. I don't recall anyone having a complaint about a glitch or bug in Chapter 5, so at least Mob held up to that promise after Chapter 4, because Chapter 4 was full of bugs last I heard, and freaking Yarnaby not appearing. I will also say they did Pianosaurus justice. The amount of freaking chairs, posters, like oh my god, they even have an Easter egg for those of you who don't realize. There's like hand scanners placed all over the place. There's 7 in total, I think, and they're hidden very like in various places. And on your first playthrough of the game, so you can't like go back and replay the game. You'll have to start a new game. You need to get all 7 of these scanned, and then you'll come up to this 8th one that's like in the labs right before oh, what's it called? Stitch room, surgery room. I don't know. It was right before we get chased by Huggy again for the last time. But you scan that 8th scanner, and Pianosaurus just pops up out of nowhere and starts dancing to his theme song. So yeah, well done. Justice for Pianosaurus for sure. Um, Very satisfied with that. And also, probably one of the biggest things that they revealed in this, the prototype is actually Ollie. Like, yes, the prototype pretended to be Ollie, but no, he actually is Ollie, or rather Oliver. Uh, there's a tape where Elliot Ludwig himself is talking to a boy named Oliver, who is the prototype. He doesn't have the whole mimicking voices down yet, but he has that rasp in his voice, like he's got a voice box or something. And they're talking about how Elliot cares more about Poppy, which honestly, yeah, Uh, Elliot loved Poppy very much, and I'm talking about Poppy Ludwig, who ends up getting turned into the Poppy doll that we all know. And that's like, and apparently, this is something I got wrong. Poppy is experiment 1007, not some experiment before 1006, the prototype. So, god dang it. I have to retcon so much stuff now. um, but it makes sense, though, why the prototype's before Poppy. Elliot has been trying to figure out how to bring his daughter back, succeeded with Oliver, the prototype, and then conveniently right after gets it just right to bring back his daughter. And then apparently this ties into the chapter 3 ARG when they found, like, after the failed escape for Theodore and the prototype, uh, the very last note you get in chapter 5 is called LP journal entry, which LP is for Leith Pierre, and he's describing this incident. He's like, if this whole thing didn't happen with Theodore Graham Bell, we would never found the prototype or Poppy Ludwig in a Poppy doll or the dead body of Elliot. Uh, which, like, that's apparently how Elliot died. I figured, like, Elliot got murdered by Harley, in which I think a lot of us kind of did, especially with how we know the doctor didn't like Elliot. But no, it's hinted strongly that it was the prototype that killed Elliot. Probably was trying to escape. Then that failed, and so now he's still stuck in the factory. And everyone now knows that Elliot died. They probably don't know how he died, other than just the handful of Leith Pierre and who else was in on it. Uh, which I find that very cool. I like that storyline. It's very nice. Um, I lost my train of thought here. Hold on. Let me get back to it. But yeah, I like what they're doing with the prototype. I hope they kind of go back to Isaac's plans. I don't know what he planned. Like, we've all been kind of asking him, and he's been getting around to each of us and answering our questions. But for the most part, like, they did not follow his plans for chapter 5. But maybe they might have something planned for chapter 6. What that is, I don't know. And I also know that there's a whole lot of drama going on Twitter. Like, I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter. I mostly go on there to, like, look at pictures, like them, save them if I really like them, and, like, just to see news about things I like. And lately on Twitter, for the past week, everyone's been kind of divided on chapter 5. Like, a lot of us love it, a lot of us hate it. Like, I've even heard that Markiplier will not play chapter 6. He said chapter 5 was a mess. And I can see both sides of the argument. Yes, chapter 5's good. The story is good. But from a person who doesn't understand the overarching story of Poppy Playtime, I can see why that gets confusing. And then you have all these complicated puzzles, and I will admit, chapter 5 wasn't necessarily that scary. Like, yes, there were some good scares, and it was nerve wracking at points, but, like, this is the same for all mascot horrors. Like, you get scared by the same thing over and over again. You're not going to get scared every time, then. You might end up getting annoyed getting killed every time, but, and, like, the chase, like, there's like it was like there's a chase cutscene, like that kept happening, especially in the last half of the game with Lily and then the Huggy and prototype chase. um but I think, like, that's what Poppy Playtime is. Like, Poppy Playtime is a quick event sort of game where you need to be, like, up on your feet, ready for anything, I feel like. And the puzzles is what I feel like makes Poppy Playtime pretty unique amongst mascot horror. Grant, I know nothing about Bendy and the Ink Machine, so I don't know what happens there. Indigo Park only has one chapter so far, and chapter two is supposed to come out later. So we'll see like what kind of mechanics they have. But like this isn't just regular FNAF anymore. Like mascot horror has evolved. Um, and like I said, everyone has their own opinion. You just need to understand both sides of the argument, and then you can make your own opinion about it. Like, everyone like don't listen to what everyone's saying like it's bad. No, it's good. Just form your own opinion. Like that's what matters. Plus, this is only on Twitter. TikTok's having a whole blast about this. And like I've seen like the reviews on Steam for chapter 5 is very positive from what I've heard. So like the whole drama on Twitter is just that's it. It's drama on Twitter. Move on, people. Um oh, I forgot. Uh I can't believe I actually forgot this bit. So the very ending of chapter 5. Um this is how my friend described it. So like we get to like the server room and we're loading the thing up. I'm watching the screen and my friend's like kind of like I'm laying on my stomach. My friend's like leaning back against a pillow. And yes, it's this scene where Dr. Harley Sawyer comes back. Um I immediately like I don't remember what I think I saw him first. I like here's what happened. Basically, my friend describes it that I suddenly started like pointing at the screen and like I was very mad. And she's like, "What the frick is her problem?" And then she heard his voice and she's like, "Oh no." Basically, I saw the screen glitch, saw a glimpse of an eye, and immediately started seeing red. I was like, "You son of a gun, you were supposed to be dead." I didn't even hear him speak. I was just talking over him. I was like, "God dang it." My friend is just in the back, like, "What's going Oh, that's fine." Yeah, so, yeah, Harley Sawyer's back. And this is another thing. Isaac had no plans for Harley Sawyer to come back. He was supposed to remain dead. Which probably means he did have more potential in chapter 4, and they kind of ruined it for him. Grant, chapter 4 did have quite a lot of potential, but I think they're mainly focusing on the build up towards the Dowie fight. Um, but yeah, chapter 5, Harley comes back in the very end, and now we have to work with him in chapter 6. What the frick? So I guarantee you, when I get around to writing the game canon alternate universe version of chapter 5 and 6, I will tell you right now, Gabriel's gonna see Harley come back, and he's like, "You mother," and then he cuts off. I will tell you right now, that is exactly what will happen. Um, like I can't wait to see chapter 6, but god do I hope Mob pulls it off. Like chapter 5 is good, yes, but like we had complaints, and not to mention like we had a whole storyline potentially tossed out. Isaac can't give us details on it in case if like Mob still has something up their sleeves. It like here's my predictions for chapter 6 at least. We are going to wind up working with the prototype. That seems to be pretty clear. Um, I think we'll get another hand. I don't know. I don't know what a new hand could potentially do for us because of all the hands we've had, I think we've pretty much covered everything. They might have a new mechanic in the game, so maybe that's what a potential new hand will do. What it will do exactly, I don't know. Um, I know a lot of people have made like memes of like the doctor looking at the player and being like, Player, where's my Omni hand? Um, I get the horrible feeling Chum and Giblet will not survive Chapter 6. I hope that's not the case. I feel like Huggy might come back. Kissy, I don't know. If that was the end of Kissy, then rest in peace, Kissy. But Huggy might potentially be able to come back, because I've seen a lot of people point out like he was still kind of moving even after being stabbed. And Grant, yes, you might still be able to move after being stabbed, depending on how uh, grievous the injury was. Um, Poppy's good as dead at this point. Like she's in the prototype's hands. She's gonna die. I don't think she's surviving this chapter either. Also, I would very much like Boxy back, please. I kid you not. When we got to Lily's bedroom and we opened the bed and saw Gracie's skeleton along with the toys, I immediately saw Boxy. I was like, there he is. But no, seriously, can we have Boxy back? Like he's too good of a character to waste. And I've heard that Mob is potentially bringing back Project Playtime. If they do, I will happily play it. Because I want to play it. I'm just not going to play the version that we have that apparently, quote unquote, sucks. Like I've heard what they've done to Project Playtime, and I'm like, I would like the old version back before I play it. Um, uh, I think we'll find a way to defeat the prototype. We should. But my biggest thing is Chapter 6 has to be the end. We can't keep extending this game on and on. Like, that's what spin offs are for. Like, I know they have that whole Poppy Play Park thing. I still think that's going to be a spin off game. Um, I don't know what it'll be about or whatnot. Um, and I know Mob is like it has been stated before that Mob is getting to the end of Poppy Playtime. Like we can see it in the games, and they've mentioned it before. Like they want to move on to other things as well. They're just wrapping up Poppy Playtime. You can't do that if you keep extending it past Chapter 6. So Chapter 6 has to be the end, and if it's not, then uh, uh, like you can make spin-off games, you can make books, which they are doing, you can make board games. Like I'd like to see a Poppy Playtime Monopoly board. I've mentioned that I'm kind of drafting an idea for a horrified board game of Poppy Playtime, which I should probably like see what someone from Mob thinks of that. um like you can still do things with it, you just can't keep extending the main game. Like it can't keep going on forever. You can't keep milking it, uh, for lack of better words. But overall, Chapter 5, good game, despite all the drama behind it. And I can't wait to see Chapter 6 and what will potentially happen. My cat's making weird noises. I'm sorry if the camera's catching it. And that's all I have to say. I will see you all later. Bye.